second bracket in practice in the afternoon. Quickest man to this stage, and then closely followed by Aaron Canet.
Wheelie out of the chicane for Baltus. New helmet for the weekend for him. Few improvements in the mid-pack there. David Alonso up to 6th place, who said himself just not quite got it working around here. As Daniel Gardo, his teammate, has got it working a bit better. He's up to 3rd, and that replaces Sasaki inside that top 4.
Yeah, this is a deep Q1 session. Sasaki's been looking good all weekend, but when you've got David Alonso, Danny Holgado, Barry Baltus and Zonta van der Gerberg looking strong again over one lap this weekend, it's going to be a tough ask for Sasaki, but yeah, he's in contention here.
Yeah, of the rookies this weekend, it's actually Ivan Ortola, isn't it, who's been the standout. He was quickest this morning. He's already got through into Q2. He was 5th fastest, won here in Moto 3 last year. So Ortola's the one who's been getting the headlines.
Yeah, looking good. Alonso on the flip side of it, struggling here, which he hasn't done in recent rounds. Not quite working for him around this TT circuit.
Yeah, of his 14 wins last year, this wasn't one. He wasn't even on the podium. So, Zonta, 2 Dutch riders in Moto 2. Important for Zonta to get through here. Important to then give himself the best chance. Zonta can fight it with the best of him, you feel like.
Yeah, he's just caught Kirafuya Pat at the wrong point of the track. But yeah, Nakarin is going into pit lane and Zonta follows suit.
Yeah, he's going to have a word, I think, with Chip. He was on his fast lap, and he did the right thing then to abort mission rather than try and squeeze it to fit Zonta. But we'll go again. They have been warned about their conduct, haven't they, in Moto 2? Look, we spoke about it in Mugello, Michael, when we were talking about the qualifying. It was ugly in Q2 last week. There were incidents in practice on the Friday afternoon as well. They've had the talking to now.
Yeah, the warnings have been laid down. I think Chip might get away with that one because he was on fast sectors all the way to the final turn 15 as he entered the Ramsuk. He thought the entire group were going down pit lane, and they did, but Zonta wasn't planning to. He was going to finish his lap, so yeah, has balked Zonta. Yeah, Simon Crayford may well have a word with him on that. You have to be aware of your surroundings.
Good family atmosphere here in the crowd, as always at Assen. And it would be a big boost if the likes of Zonta van der Gerberg, Colin Fayer, Barry Baltus, for all the Belgians that have made it down over the border. Should I say up over the border?
2 out of 3 inside the top 4 so far, but not sure if Fire has it this weekend. He's on the comeback from injury, looking better in Mugello, wanting to perform here in front of his home fans, but yeah, not an easy task.
Yeah, he's gonna have to find something special. Navarro had a couple of crashes this weekend.
Both here. One on entry to the chicane, one on exit this morning. Quite a strange one.
And Alex is screeched just ahead of Alonso as Colin Fayer does exit the pit lane now. We have got just over 6 minutes remaining in Q1 here. It's the Dutch TT at Assen in Moto 2. Race winner a few weeks ago, a couple of weeks ago for Denis Onchu in Aragon. And as it stands, he's going through as the 4th of 4. However, the gap to Ayumi Sasaki in 5th is less than 0.05 of a second over this 2.8 mile, 4.5 kilometre TT circuit in Assen. So they're going to have to go out there, they're going to have to go again. Denis Onchu has got to defend his position. Hasn't been on it though this weekend at any point.
Nope, missing a little something here. Onju after a good vein of form after the win in Aragon. Solid Mugello, but not working for him here in Holland. So yeah, I think he's, whether it's his attack and riding style, just compromising it a little bit so far, but yeah, at the moment he's in a qualifying spot, but I think he's going to have to do a slightly better lap here.
Still quiet, still just fire out there, so he'll come back down. You can perhaps hear his bike in the distance. We can see one motorcycle, and we're all going to rejoin the racetrack behind Colin.
This
He's done the right thing. Yeah, loves I was about to say that, Michael. He's done the right thing, hasn't he? And he loves it.
Yeah, it's how he rode his entire Moto3 career pretty much, was always setting laps by himself, not worrying about what the others do, looking for a group to ride with, and yeah, it's worked to his advantage through a lot of his career. Sets him up better for race day.
It's not working for him. We're about the halfway point pretty much of his rookie season in Moto 2. But do you feel like IO will stick with him? I know they've made quick changes before. Celestino Vietti only lasted a year. Other riders have only lasted a year there. Will they have patience with Colin?
I believe so. I think we've seen enough from Colin that he is methodical. He's working away at it. They'll factor in the injury and the fact that before the injury he was showing promise. And yeah, it is a tough rookie campaign for everyone. And the problem is you get the likes of Holgado and Alonso making it look a little easier, but Ortola's only finding his way now, as is Colin. So yeah, I'm feeling AO will want to give him a second shot at it next year.
Yeah, it's not an easy prospect, but let's face it, the IO squad expect to win. They expect to challenge for the championship. You have to show something. They'll know. They'll either have seen something or have already made their minds up. You feel? But I think you're right. I'm with you on that, Michael. I've got a sneaky suspicion that he should be okay as he heads through, improves his lap time in 7th place in this session. Still going to need to find another half a second, which is practically impossible, isn't it?
Yeah. Bit of a tall order for Colin, but perhaps he would benefit from looking for a rear wheel here when he needs a lap time, but I almost respect it more that he doesn't. He just goes about it, and he's got to figure things out that whenever he's got the speed, the results will come.
Zonta and Sasaki out together, and it's a big, important couple of laps, isn't it, for those two? It is a Dutch team, and that one's got a little bit tight there, hasn't it?
Yeah, Huertas on the late apex, and Alonso thinking he can send it up the inside. Rear wheel usually bests front, but David Alonso done well not to make contact with Huertas' rear tyre.
There's a yellow flag down there in the first sector. I'm looking for Zonta van der Gerberg, and his lap time hasn't come up, and that is why we said how important it was, not just for Zonta as the Dutchman, but for the team. RW Hydrofolia team is based here. They have a huge hospitality unit out there. Jarno Jansen, Strubben.
We've seen it so many times this weekend. Turn 5, as you change direction, kick it back to first gear, go for the wide entry, and a little chatter as he goes to angle.
It's that wide, just ever so slightly, trying to pick up the late apex, wider line. Canet this morning, Baltus this morning was exactly the same.
Yeah, pretty much copybook of those two crashes. Or 3 this morning there, I think, in Moto 2. I'm trying to remember who the third one was, but yeah, we've seen it so many times this weekend at turn 5. Oh, let's hear it through you, Pat.
Salac, was it?
Yeah, Philip Salac, you're right. So it was. Pace setter this weekend also.
Oh, talking about Ayumu Sasaki and talking about the RW team, he's just replaced Denis Onchu, and he's put Dani Holgado at risk here. Oh, look at the shake of the head from Nicky Io as Denis Onchu has to come up with something now.
Yeah, he's starting a lap. It was a slow one last time around. He's made it through on chip.
Yeah, but look who's got in front. He's got Adrian Huertas in front of him. Is that enough of a gap? Is he going to be able to squeeze through? So, Denis Onchu might have won back in Aragon, but he's struggling to even get through Q1 here. the Triumphs are taking a battering, aren't they? It's basically when they get on the edge of the tyre, isn't it? Up through turn 6.
Yeah, you keep the throttle wide open as you go onto the side of the tyre there, and obviously the RPM picks up immediately, bounces off the soft limiter. This is a good lap from Danny Holgado coming in.
Yeah, so Holgado, Sasaki's lap's gone.
I wonder, is that because of the crash in front of him? It would be, because he was right on the rear tyre of Zonta van der Gerber.
Must be a track limits. I missed the yellow banner because it feels like the yellow banner's constantly up, and we have a timing screen where this yellow warning banner pops up, and so Sasaki would have to go again, and he's not going to. So Onshu could be lucky here, because Holgado's about to go even quicker still. That is David Alonso. Right, to the line we go. Huertas improves, Cuny improves, Onshu does not improve, crucially. Oh!
He was just having a look over into pit lane, and
that wasn't the line that you want to run down towards turn 1.
Yeah, still avoided the gravel, whereas poor old Jose Antonio Rueda couldn't, well, despite hitting the brakes at his braking point. Weirdly.
So, Daniel Holgado did go top while all that was going on. Balta second, Van der Gerberg third, and Onshu in fourth, and Ayumi Sasaki, well, I don't know, it must have been a track limits transgression, but his lap was chalked off. I hope it's not for the yellow flag, because you can't have a yellow flag when someone's crashed right in front of you.
Yeah, typically not. You haven't entered a yellow flag zone. The riders just literally slid out of your path. Ayumi was right on the rear tyre of Zonta van der Gerber in that section. So look over at his pit board, look back and sees Darren Binder slowing, but good reactions, good control from Onshu.
I mean, it's the sort of thing they probably practice with Keenan and Toprak at the ranch, isn't it? They have, yeah. Have you tried taking this line through the undergrowth? So, Onshu does safely get it through. Right, maybe we're going to find out here what happened to Ayumi Sasaki. He is 5th quickest, but his best lap taken away from him. He'll know if it's a track limits. Oh, hang on. Is that a flare, I'm assuming?
Does look a bit orange. The locals supporting, obviously, Barry Baltus, Belgian, but Dutch rider Zonta van der Gerber making his way through on this session. Oh, it is going to be green in the final chicane.
Oh, and he'll know it.
Yeah.
He'll know it. Well, that's the penalty. Lap gone away from him. You've got to feel for him. He actually had it, didn't he? He actually, you know, had it. If he'd have been clean through that chicane, could well have replaced Onshu, but not to be for Ayumi Sasaki. So despite his crash, Zonta looks like he's made it back, and we'll go again in Q2. This is the moment. No warning for Zonta.
Be very little damage, just to check over of the bodywork. Crew will check normally handlebar, lever, foot peg will take a little bit of a buffing, but they'll get it back ready for this session. physically have to load the front tyre with your body, back shift, tip it in there with as much confidence as you can inspire in yourself to just let it flow.
Yeah, and underneath them at the Strubben as well. It's another one, just to bear it in mind as we head towards final qualifying then, here from the TT circuit in the Netherlands. Moto 2, pole position to be decided, and the front 6 rows of the grid. It's round 10 of the Moto 2 World Championship. Good packed crowd, isn't there, down at the Harbach for turn 1. There is Jake Dixon, had a very rare engine blow-up yesterday.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say it was a blow-up. It's not an electrical fault.
So, of course it was electrical fault. Yeah, the whole electrical system was burned. It was blown to smithereens. No, it was. Look, and we can say it's rare because how many times? Can you remember the last time that's happened?
I can't actually remember the last time.
Was there one with Jorge Navarro? Was there? I'm thinking of Jorge Martin was the last time I remember, and so that's how long ago we're talking about.
Yeah, they have been fairly bulletproof, these Triumph 765 engines. And they've continued to develop, push the envelope, work them harder, rev them harder, change the materials and improve the performance, and they've remained as reliable and consistent through the whole range of kilometres that you run 3 race weekends on an engine, and they still perform right at the end of their life cycle.
And the gearbox system that they came up with at the start of the year, that's been great. We haven't heard one talk of a look a bit tight, and then with Philip Salac and Albert Arenas, but yeah, we haven't mentioned that at all, have we, at any point this year?
Yeah, we are still working with a production base gearbox, but they've put the first gear, or the neutral, sorry, right at the top of the box, so you have to open a gate to let it go into neutral, and we're not finding those problems of backshifting to first gear anymore, which, yeah, that was something that was a complaint of riders, and Triumph didn't like it either, and they rectified it, they fixed it, and invested in the project that way. So yeah, it's been such a good few years for Triumph in this class.
Yeah, they have fulfilled the remit, haven't they, constantly, and hopefully it works for them. And Zonta has a out of the seat moment coming out of the Strubben. Can we convince Triumph to make a MotoGP bike? That's the next task for us, isn't it?
It would be nice to have a British manufacturer on the MotoGP grid. But never say never.
Look, for a 765 triple that's doing it, the pace is production based, based on the production engine. It is seriously rapid what they're doing, they're performing so well.
Yeah, it's incredible, it really is, and obviously the lap times that they're doing here into the 34 seconds around Assen, that's phenomenal. The middleweight class is yeah, it's a fun engine size because you're not fighting the wheelie everywhere. It's not a real animal, but it's impressive the speed that you can lap at. Yeah, he just got, I think, offsided. Someone went wide there. Is Senna Aegis on the outside, or was it Gonzalez? Senna. But yeah, I'm not sure if Vietti maybe not on a great lap and just rolled out of it.
A bit messy again. As I say, as we mentioned in Q1, they've had a talking to before this one. Moreira's wide there and gets out of the way of everyone behind him. Van der Gerberg almost following him through.
Can it make an overtake? I think he's over the green paint on the exit of the chicane, Aaron, can it?
Ramon Gonzalez emerges from that one, fastest of that group, 135.4, but I don't think that's going to be enough to take pole. But Ortola up there again, Michael. It's good to see, good to talk about. On a Bosco Scoro, in the absence now of Sergio Garcia, picking up the mantle for the MSI team.
Yeah, taking the reins of the squad as
Biggie.
Salac. I didn't see, did he lose the rear in the middle of turn 4?
I'm not sure whether there was a collision though, but that's a big crash for him, a big crash for his machine too, and he's holding his right leg, bottom part of his right leg. Is there anyone else involved? Yes, there is Alonso Lopez. What's the story here? What's gone on? He looks down at his motorcycle.
Sometimes lines converge in the middle of turn 4. It is one of those corners you can approach it with a wide to mid part, and then you come back to a late apex. Or if you've got a bike that turns in the middle, you might try and swoop in under. If there's a slight door ajar, perhaps a coming together of lines. We need to see it back on the replay. Fingers crossed Philip's okay. It is just that. I think there's a door open. Philip's trying to squeeze it in the inside.
Yeah. Lopez was wide, and then obviously Canet's
not happy. He's
not happy.
gesticulating to Salach. He lost the rear actually as he pulled it back. So yeah, he's come out of the gas, tried to squirt it up the inside of Alonso to get through. Just lost traction in the rear end.
Yeah, Lopez there. Well, I'm sure now head back down pit lane. Looks like he's feeling it. What's your reading of that? Well, just again, Salach, it was one of those, wasn't it? Lopez was wide, and so Salach is trying to get himself through and ahead, isn't he? Asks for a little bit too much.
Exactly, yeah. There's a door ajar. He's on a good first couple of corners. He thinks, I can get through here before Alonso comes back. And it is one of those slight racing incidents. It was maybe a little optimistic from Salach's side, but yeah, difficult one to call. Obviously, Simon Crafar and the stewards will go through it.
We're too busy with Moto 3.
Justification, yeah.
We'll be here till Monday.
Could be a while.
Oh, someone sat up there on the exit there, waving hands from Onchu. Moreira it is, who's on a really good lap here. Let's see, there's a number of riders halfway round on the centre. Ages is one to keep an eye on too. Moreira's keeping it going. Manuel Gonzalez having posted one lap. This one's not going to be as quick. He's another one who got a penalty, didn't he, for a little bit of slow riding once posting fast lap.
Jake Dixon on a good third sector. I think he's on track with Moreira, or close.
Yeah, they're just coming. I think Dixon might be just ahead of Moreira. Goes, actually, he's just behind him. So Moreira went top after Baltas had been there. Dixon slots into third. So that trio were motoring. They also had Arenas nearby. Marcos Ramirez had a decent lap in the midst.
It's good for Jake. 35.6 yesterday, now down to a 35.3. We did talk about it, myself and Steve Day in commentary. So important for Jake this weekend to be on the first two rows of the grid, to make the early going. You can't lose touch with the lead group.
No.
You use up too much tyre to get back. So yeah, that's a good lap for Jake Dixon. But if he wants pole, he may need to go again. Or he will need to go again, should I say.
It's like a little bit of hand pain here, arm pain for Alonso Lopez. Contact with Salach. Let's have a look from on board. So there you see Salach they're on the same line there, and Lopez goes with a kind of wider line. Salach actually does turn tight, doesn't he?
Yeah. You can pull those moves off if you've got a bike that turns different to your rival. Salach on a Bosco chassis felt like he could get through there, but Alonso Lopez was quite wide. But yeah, he was unaware of the bike inside him as he came back onto his line. Yeah, but I don't know if there'll be a penalty there. I just don't see enough. Yes, opportunistic, but you're on a qualifying lap. You've had a good couple of corners. You feel you've been the fastest man on track so far this weekend. You feel you can make it through clean. Unfortunately, didn't allow for the loss of grip right at the second apex. So yeah, the rear coming around for Salach caused the crash, but I don't think Simon will penalise that one, to be honest.
So back down pit lane now. It's gone quiet. Aaron Canet has got himself out of sync. So he's currently down in 17th, but he's gone out by himself. Arbolino's lap was chalked off, so he's the only other one not to have scored a lap there. As it stands, it's Brazilian Diogo Moreira who's in pole, as he has been for the last two races. Lined up ahead of Canet last time out in Italy.
Best sectors 2 and 3 there on his outlap. So yeah, he's building into a strong one here. Had a good morning session. Little tip off at the end, but he's looked fast around this venue.
Yeah, and that won't affect his confidence. He'll have known what went wrong right at the end there. And the long looper. Salach's gone to the medical centre, not surprising. A big impact. Jake Dixon back, sat in his garage, just waiting to go again with 5 on the clock. Aaron Canet, good first sector.
Full gas all the way through the kink at turn 6. You heard the limiter as he was going to lean angle. Full commitment. It's so fast there. I like the outside camera. You can get to see the physical inputs from the rider to make the bike change direction there. It's so hard as you're back shifting into the Ruskin hook.
I think it's going to be better than 13th for Canet, I would surmise. The top 8 covered by 0.33, so down to Salach. Here is Onshu, currently in 10th place. Oh, Canet under through the 3rd sector now. Certainly good to see Canet out on the racetrack, since he's the only rider out there. Here we go, up towards the final chicane.
Throttle early to get the direction change. Stays away from the green pin. This is good.
Really good, and savvy, got himself out of sync. And look at this, everyone's going to rejoin the racetrack behind Canet. He's done his job, done what he had to do. 1:35.0. Yes, Salach went quicker yesterday, but conditions are different today. And Canet responding well, looking for his 2nd pole of the year after Silverstone. So what have the others got for him? Like a race out there. All trying to get in behind Manuel Gonzalez.
Yeah, look at that. To be fair, the number 4 machine of Ivan Ortola has done it well so many times this weekend. Got the rear tyre of Manuel Gonzalez, and Manu seems happy enough to tow his fellow Spaniard around.
Jake Dixon and Senna Aegis. I think see on the 81 was Aegis. Dixon there. Isan Guevara's been decent again this weekend. I have to say Guevara's starting to pick up his performances, isn't he?
Yeah, he's looked good, as is Tony Arbolino, a lot stronger throughout. Not set a lap in this session. Not sure what's gone on with the number 14.
Track limits. His lap got taken away. Noticed that pop up. Oh, here we go, sitting up. You've been warned. No messing about.
Actually, more than half the bikes on track in this session, all trying to follow Manuel Gonzalez.
And now Jake Dixon sat up. You can see he's trying to find himself just a little bit of clear room. Not bad to get behind Diogo Moreira either. So Moreira just in the middle of that pack. There's Onshu. Will file through. It is like a Moto 2 race here. So Canet leading a big group. Well, actually, it's Gonzalez, isn't it, who is leading them.
Oh, Moreira so slideways into the turn 1 section. Canet's rolled out of it here. He's done well to stay well off the track.
Yeah, but also not to go to the gravel.
No yellow flags out.
Let's not mention Moto 3. Get our ire up again, won't it? As Dixon goes tight into the Strubben. Oh, twitch from him though.
Just about to say, it does compromise your exit. He attacked so much on the direction change.
And look at that, Moreira in turn, fastest through the 1st sector. Gonzalez even quicker. Ortola right behind Gonzalez. Keep an eye on the rookie. There he is on the number 4. Both of them motoring here. And through the 2nd split, Moreira is quick. Gonzalez is quick. Arenas on it again. Arenas is always good for a 1 lap. And his first crash of the year this weekend.
Jake's about to get pounced on by Barry Baltus. Looked like Barry was going for a move into turn 10.
Yeah, he's on a personal best lap, is Barry. Might be in this situation after that twitch for Dixon is get yourself in a position to have a 2nd go at it. So at the front, Manuel Gonzalez. Estimated 1 for him, Ortola, Moreira. They can't all be in pole position. Oh, I'll tell you what, Ortola right in behind him. Yeah. Could be just about ideal here as we come to the line across it. Goes Manuel Gonzalez, and Ortola it is, the rookie goes top, and then Moreira responds. The Brazilian goes to the top of the timesheet. Dixon wasn't able to manage him on that lap, and Moreira, brilliant. That is a new all-time lap record, 1:34.777. Could be a 3rd pole in a row here for the Brazilian.
Yeah, he's figured out his time attack mode. Diogo Moreira just a little back, someone to chase, and perfect lap. He executed it nicely.
Now, this is where they've been told, don't start rolling off, and he had a moment coming out of the Strubben, a bit like Dixon on the previous one. So, as we go again, Gonzalez has gone quicker still in Sector 1. Championship leader, hasn't had a pole since Le Mans. Already, though, had 5 to his name this year. No, off in the second split. Anyone else under? Anyone near? Albert Arenas, who's currently on the second row in 5th place.
He's just side by side with Zonda van den Gerberg there. I'm not sure if it helped or hindered the Spaniard, but Arenas on a good second indicator.
Through Dijkslot now on the run back towards the finish line. On board we go with Manuel Gonzalez. Yeah, silky smooth might not help him here. I don't think he's going to improve. So that's Gonzalez, 3rd at best. Is anyone going to get it from him? Albert Arenas has lost the mojo, so he's not going to do it. Joe Roberts, he can finish off his lap, might be able to go up through the order as Gonzalez comes to the line. He's done. Senna Aegis does move ahead. Baltas then it's Joe Roberts up to 8th place, and that pushes Dixon even further back. But Joe Roberts with a good comeback has looked again better this weekend. Canet is knocked off the front row in the end, but for the 3rd race in succession, it is Diogo Moreira who takes pole from Ivan Ortola. What about the rookie? That's the standout performance there, surely.
Yeah, he looks so good this weekend. You could see on the pictures following Manuel Gonzalez how he's running his mid-corner speed. The front looks like he's got it set quite low in the front, but it seemed to work and steer for him around here.
Brazilian fans absolutely cock-a-hoop with that one for Diogo Moreira. You do know, don't you, that MotoGP teams are having a serious look at Moreira and getting hold of his signature. We talked about it in Moto3, I remember. Well, you know, when we started seeing him come to the fore, he was just doing different things, just doing special things.
Yeah, but didn't have that much success in Moto3. He was a quality rider, everyone saw it. I remember a lot of the MotoGP riders tipping him as their favourite for the championship, but yeah, his CV in the early years wasn't standout, but he's really matured, and everyone said it. Give him a little more horsepower and he'd be stronger again, and he's proved it. It took a little time to develop in Moto2, but what a quality rider he is now in his sophomore year.
Manuel Gonzalez back onto the front row for the first time since Silverstone. Hopefully no penalties to come today for him. Of course, it was his own penalty when he crashed in Aragon, put him 18th. He was relegated 3 spots in Mugello, but that should be okay for the Spaniard. Aaron Canet will head up row 2 with Arenas and Baltas. Row 3, Senna Aegis and Joe Roberts with Daniel Gardo on that 3rd row. Then row 4, Onshu, Dixon and Van der Gerberg. So actually Van der Gerberg having come through Q1, that's decent for the Dutchman. Then it's Ramirez, Salach, 14th in the end despite his big crash, and Arbolino and Vietti. Lopez didn't go back out there, so Vietti, Lopez and Guevara. Disappointing that for Guevara. His pace has been better than that all weekend.
Yeah, his personal best lap set on his first flying lap. Likewise, Jake, his second exit just seemed like maybe the tyre didn't quite hook up as good as his first tyre, but he didn't seem to match his pace there, and unfortunately got bumped back to the 4th row of the grid for Jake Dixon.
So Barry Baltas comes back down, 2nd row of the grid for Barry, but he will have a double long lap penalty to take. Ahead of him, Arenas and Canet, and then your front row for Moto2 tomorrow, Moreira, Ivan Ortola, excellent from him, and Manuel Gonzalez. And as you can see, the Boscos Guros have been going so well up to that point in the 1 lap pace. Look at where they all are on the grid, just Ortola breaking the top spots. Right, we are going to take a break from the action for the time being. We'll come back, we'll have a reaction to that Moto2 qualifying, but don't forget, in just half an hour's time, we are going sprint racing.
Entire Cover Bike and Multi-Bike Insurance sponsors MotoGP Championships on TNT Sport.
TNT Sports, powered by Endura.
In F1 Clash, precision is everything. Can you make the right call when it matters most? One split-second decision can make the difference.
Box.
Between victory and defeat.
Simply lovely. What a win!
F1 Clash. Download for free from the App Store and Google Play.
One moment you're queuing up for stamps, and the next
Seriously?
you're a millionaire. Get yourself in the draw. Lotto, will you be the next millionaire?
Look at them all, the morning people, with their chirpy dispositions. Those early birds that catch the worm. What's their secret? Where's my worm? Why can't I be like them? But there is a way. Kenco Coffee. Because if you can't beat the morning people, join them. Kenco, proud partners of Parkrun and morning people. Woohoo!
Saying to starting up from pole position, it's his to lose, really. That's how I'd probably put it.
I repeat, he has not won a sprint race before. Not since they came to be our Saturday afternoon entertainment here in MotoGP. Right, we've got 13 laps of the most legendary, historic venue in the whole of motorcycle racing, and we are ready to go. Fabio Quartararo on pole. Can he hold off the Ducatis? It's a decent launch, but even with a little wobble from the start for Pecco Bagnaia. Look at Marc Marquez around the outside. Quartararo will have the inside line, but Marquez hangs it around the outside through the hard box, and he's going to go up to turn 2. That backs everyone up behind him. Oh, poor old. Who was that? Was it Vinales being pushed backwards there?
Yeah, you're right. It backed everyone up behind him because I don't know who that was.
It looked like one of the Hondas had gone down. Was it Mir? I mean, first couple of corners, and now Ayagura's helped out there by one of the VR46 bikes.
Yeah,
that's Fernandez.
Yeah, it's Fernandez, isn't it?
It was Mir, of course it was Mir.
Yeah, of course it was Mir who crashed, but Mr. Unlucky. But here comes Marc Marquez on lap 1. He knows Quartararo, if he can get into a rhythm leading, he's a chance to pull away, and Marc will not allow that to happen.
That's where Marc crashed, in that corner. Here comes Alex Marquez now. Through he goes on Pecco Bagnaia and up into 3rd place now. But you're right, Marc Marquez knows that Quartararo can get away, and he also knows that if he can get in front, he gives himself a really good chance of going again in the sprint.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a messy first corner because Marquez dropped his back wheel off the edge of the curve and then lost all his driver momentum as the riders ride through the flares.
On the run back towards the finish line, this is all out, isn't it? Through there, Marc was carrying so much speed, ran up high, but this is where Quartararo has been strong all weekend. Another corner that Marquez has had a crash on. Here is Bagnaia, he's under pressure from Marco Bezzecchi, and up towards the final corner as Marc Marquez attacks to the front. I'm sure Bezzecchi was attacking Bagnaia as well. Here we go, Quartararo trying to come back at Marc Marquez, but it's Marquez who leads at the end of lap 1. Bezzecchi did get through on Bagnaia. Alex Marquez now through on Quartararo, and it's status quo as we've seen in the sprint, but Quartararo looks over the top of his bike and has to give way to Alex Marquez.
Fair play to Alex Marquez there. He knew straight away that he had to attack, because he knew straight away that his brother was going to attack, as he is.
Now he's got straight away to attack his brother, hasn't he? That's the job here for Alex Marquez.
It's the question.
Got to have a go. Can he do it?
The question everybody keeps asking, there's been fans complaining, saying, no, he's not attacking his brother. To be totally honest, he's not really had opportunities to.
Now, I wonder around here if Marc Marquez can come under pressure from his brother. Fabio Quartararo then in 3rd. Here we go with Maverick Vinales fighting back after he got balked right at the start in front of Di Gianantonio. Morbidelli and it must be Morbidelli and Fernandez who came together, was it, early on in the race? I couldn't quite see, but Fernandez has come back down the pits. So whatever the problem for Raul, it's not going to be points today for him. It's getting close between Alex Marquez and Marc at the front. We're going to watch the start of the race again. Pecco Bagnaia had a little wobble, had a little moment.
Yeah, absolutely. The reality is, Marc's he ends up, you're sort of on the outside, you're being hung out to dry. It was cheeky him even trying to make the pass. There, that's the bit where he goes off the curb. And at that point, that's where he lost a bit of momentum through that part of the track.
When he's on the outside, though, Marc Marquez, if he does sort of give it up and try to suck inside, he's probably thinking there's Bagnaia, there's Alex there, and all those kinds of things.
Absolutely, yeah. On that opening line, it's just a risky strategy because you can, as it did turn out, you get run to the edge of the curb.
Aprilia were on the podium here with Maverick Vinales in the sprint last year, and now Marco Bezzecchi in 3rd. Looks strong, best qualifying that we've seen so far from Marco Bezzecchi in Aprilia colours, and he's up to 3rd position. He won the sprint here, if you remember, a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and is the fastest man on the track.
This was down towards the final chicane where he goes through on Quartararo.
Yeah, on Quartararo, a classic textbook move into the final chicane here.
Ooh, and now Quartararo under pressure from Bagnaia. Well, we thought that the Yamaha might have been able to hold its own if it got in front of the other bikes, but it's just shown that isn't to be the case, particularly on basically where these bikes get up to top speed, and just not able to hold them at bay.
One thing in reality though, it's not over yet for Fabio. No. Even though he's sat in 4th, if he can get his rhythm, his race pace is quick enough.
I'll tell you what, Bezzecchi is the one who's motoring. Yeah. He's been faster than Marc Marquez on both of those two previous laps. And now Alex through there, every single lap, isn't he, is quick.
Well, it looks like Mark's bike looks longer. He cannot get that bike turn. It looks like he's trying to steer a bolt through those corners. Alex Marquez, on the other hand, it looks nimble, agile, and it turns much sharper.
How many times have we said that, though, about first 3-4 laps of Marc Marquez, when you've got a full fuel tank and things just don't work, and it's then in the second half, even in the sprint races, where he comes into his own. And again, Marco Bezzecchi just slightly but quicker than Marc Marquez on that lap in third place.
Yeah, it's almost like the initial grip you get at the start of the race is not helping him. It's pushing the front of that Ducati. We've heard the riders complain about it, pushing the front. What happens when the grip drops away? Then all of a sudden you can slide the bike more, you can turn the bike more. But just watch him. Just watch Mark at this point in the race, or watch his younger brother Alex. It looks like he can turn much sharper.
And yet on corner exit, then Mark seems to just lay the power down that bit better, doesn't he? And he always seems to pull that little bit when they exit from the corners. So that's Gian Antonio 6th, Maverick Vinales in 7th, top KTM in this race. On board with Bagnaia now, back in 5th. You know, we were talking before the start of this race about Bagnaia. He's got a real chance when it comes to the long race, but in the sprints with the smaller fuel tank, he cannot ride. But yeah, he keeps saying, I can't ride like I want.
Look, this is where Alex is really, really fast. Look at that. I mean, it's like he's I don't know if it's a completely different setting. I know he's on the 24 model, but through that part of the track, he's got like a couple of tenths in his back pocket. He really has.
So can he find a way through on his brother?
Well, the problem is then that fast left, Mark's strong. Mark's always been strong into that final chicane. That's Valentino Rossi. And then you sort of fire it out of the chicane, and the straight's not long enough into turn 1, but Mark's quick through there, so he sort of gets the gap back up.
And another fastest lap of the race from him, but Gian Antonio went that bit quicker, 1:31.7. That's quicker than the main race lap record from Pecco Bagnaia. That was in last year's race, when he, of course, won the sprint and the main race. As it stands, he's back in 5th. But Quartararo has closed in on Bagnaia on that lap. Gian Antonio also coming to the fore. Clearly, whatever direction they found for Digi and that bike, it seems to be working. They're just pulling now a little bit on Bezzecchi, the Marquez brothers. Here we go again. This is through the Steckenval now, the turn 8 right-hander, and this is where Alex has to have a go. Down towards the bolt.
Yeah. He had a chance then to have a look. It's tight into there. It's a bit one line.
Oh, that's wide though.
He's forced Mark wide. As in, Mark
pushing, knowing that he's under
aware.
pressure.
Yeah, you know, you can feel it. You sense when the rider's close to you. Look at this. This is the part of the track where Mark's completely holding up his brother, and he's going to go for it here. This will.
That would have been no talking over the Christmas dinner table later on.
That would have been contact in 5th gear. That was not the move.
But Alex is all over the back at the moment. A little bit of marking on the left-hand side of Marc Marquez's rear tyre. Nothing to worry about at this stage.
It looks like Mark's not got quite as much grip as Alex, does it? You know, you see the bike moving a little bit more. Fastest man out of the top 3 there was Marco Bezzecchi by 0.4 of a second.
Yeah, he responded, and having a look, there are only 1.3 seconds covering back to Gian Antonio. Even Vinales in 7 is less than 2 seconds behind the leader.
Yeah, there's corners definitely where Mark's got decent speed, but there's quite a few corners where he's
Digi on Bagnaia, and through he goes to take 5th on the switchback though. Bagnaia back through on the inside. When you lunge like that into the scrub, and you leave yourself exposed.
Yeah, it's a flat hairpin. There's no camber at all. So as you go wide, you sort of have to release your trail braking, because you know you're going to fold the front. So you make the move. You hope the rider sits up enough that you're passing, that you then can't do the cutback. But of course, Bagnaia was wise. This is the part now again where Alex Marquez is so fast. Just watch him through these next 2 right-handers. Mark goes wide there, he loses time, and then here.
The track limits warning there. Sorry for Marco Bezzecchi. Again, look at Alex Marquez turning through here. No way through for him. He's got to come up with a plan here, hasn't he, Alex? Here we go, running pace, or
it's one line through that part of the track. It really is. That's not. I'm saying that because people are sat at home thinking, well, why didn't he pass him there? When you go curb to curb, there's no way you can make a pass.
Digi though finds one into the chicane. Now, will Bagnaia get the drive down towards turn 1? Digi's just looking at him
Defending
hugging
so well.
inside line.
Good riding from Digi, that.
Bagnaia back to 6th. It is not working in sprints. He was positive, wasn't he, after qualifying earlier? He's got the old aero on, I've noticed, for Bagnaia, running with old. I say old. The aero they started the season with. And Mark Marquez has got the newer one by the looks of things. There is Maverick.
Doing a great job again for KTM, the fastest KTM rider. Acosta's in 9th.
Behind Aldeguer, who's just got through on him. Brad Binder's actually got up to 10th, you know.
Yeah, from where was he on the grid?
16th.
Yeah, 16th. So it's sort of closing up a little bit. Very similar pace at the front, the top 5. Like Digi's got decent pace. Now he's got clear track ahead of him. He's closing in on Marco Bezzecchi. You
pointed it out earlier when we were talking about how much narrower this track is and how it feels it, and so any move that you do make, you have to make sure about it.
Yeah, you really do. Yeah, it's one of them you can't even slightly hesitate. Otherwise there's contact, because it's curve to curve to curve. Look, on board you can see curve to curve, out to curve. Then you go through this flat out sort of kink into the very scary penultimate corner. 4th gear on a MotoGP bike, so then down to the famous last chicane here.
Past the halfway point of this race now, 7 laps completed, 6 to go, and Alex Marquez had a track limits warning, as has Vinales, Bezzecchi, Acosta and Aldeguer. Easily done. A couple of spots around the racetrack. Through the chicane is one of them where he can have it. It just means he's exceeded the track limits on one occasion though. He's got another one, and then the 3rd is a long lap in a sprint race. Into the Strubben once more, and Marco Bezzecchi now still defending from Quartararo, but Di Gianantonio lurking now behind Fabio Quartararo. So this will be interesting to see. We're on board with Fabio. Do we see Di Gianantonio appear at any moment as we head down towards the Ruskin hook? Great shot from the heli. See how Fabio can match the pace in front, and Aprilia just pulling a little bit actually through the likes of the Ruskin hook, and then you saw, didn't you, how Di Gianantonio closes in.
Yeah, Digi's fastest man on track at this point, isn't he? Looks really comfortably closing in on Quartararo.
Still the gap at the front, 0.2 of a second. This is the look back from Bezzecchi's bike in 3rd, Quartararo in 4th. Di Gianantonio then in 5th. Pecco Bagnaia half a second behind him. Through the Rams hook and heading towards the final chicane, the Timmer bot. Through once more for Digi.
Marc Marquez through that final chicane, got it absolutely perfect on that lap.
He has on a couple of occasions now, hasn't he? And that's where I would say, usually Alex and Fabio Quartararo, for example, have been quicker than him, but he seems to have sorted something out here in the race, to have found a bit more pace in there. Right, is Di Gianantonio looking for a way through here on Fabio Quartararo? No. Frenchman resolute.
Yeah, he went slightly defensive, did Fabio, which was the right thing to do, but he could affect his exit.
That's Quartararo to Di Gianantonio, of course. The two Fabios.
Yeah, the two Fabios
battling it out in 4th. 4th, anyway. Quartararo now with a track limits warning. So, left-hand side of your screen, those with that warning triangle next to them, they've exceeded track limits on 1 occasion. We won't know if they've done it on a 2nd occasion, a 3rd, and you get a penalty. Remember Brad Binder having a podium take away from him here for doing that in the race, in the sprint and the main race.
I think if Alex is close enough on a last lap, he could do a sneaky up the inside there into the second double apex.
Technical terminology there.
Yeah, that's
the old sneaky.
But I think it'll catch Mark off guard. He'll pick the bike up, and that'll create a gap. It's one of the beautiful things about sitting in 2nd place at this point in a race. You've got all the information on the rider in front. You know exactly where you are quicker.
That looked to me like Marc Marquez might have gone over track limits on the chicane, so all of them will be hanging on that warning. He knows he's under pressure here, Mark. He's up the wick again. 31.9 from him, 31.9 from Alex. Marco Bezzecchi, 31.8, so he's the quickest of the front trio. And then Quartararo, a personal best, a 32.0. Similar time to Di Gianantonio, who's being held up, but forced to run that pace by Quartararo in front of him. And then Bagnaia at 32.2, who's being closed in on by Vinales now. Yeah, track limits warning did come up for Marc Marquez because of that chicane that we saw. There's another track limits moment there that you can have if you go through on the inside. Only Pecco Bagnaia of the top 10 hasn't exceeded track limits at least once in this race. Just shows you were talking curb to curb, and that's why you try to use every single inch of this racetrack you can.
Yeah, because it's so narrow and it's so
someone's gone down. It's not the front two. Who is it? Oh, it's Fabio Quartararo under pressure from Fabio Di Giannantonio, and that's at Mandeville.
That looks fast. So I'm assuming that's the initial grab of the brake. He's probably lost the front. Yeah. You brake there with a lot of lean angle, and it's a sort of place someone like Fabio's trying to make up time.
So out of four for Quartararo from pole. I tell you what, his run from pole positions this year for Fabio Quartararo, is he just on his left-hand side after obviously not dislocating it?
So it's not this corner, it's going to be the next corner.
Yeah, change the direction.
As soon as he grabs the brake, he'll crash. There you go.
Straight away, just dropped away from him. Yeah, from pole, crashed out in sprint in Spain and obviously in France, and had the bike problem in Silverstone from pole. So not been a happy hunting ground for him.
See, on that lap, Bezzecchi was a quarter of a second faster than the two in front of him. I genuinely think if someone can get past Marc, they can go faster.
Yeah, that's just so much easier said than done, isn't it? That's the thing.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, people I have, and Alex has been quick to defend. He said, look, I'm 70 points clear of everyone else in the championship. That's Bagnaia who's behind me, you know, in it. I'm doing everything I can.
Yeah, no one's criticising Pecco Bagnaia for not trying to overtake Marc Marquez. It's not got close enough. The argument is his brother has at the start of a couple of the races, and at that point, when you sit behind someone who you think you can pass but has got better pace, you're better off sitting behind them so that they pull you away eventually from the people behind.
This is where he's through the fast corners. I have to say, it looks like Alex just has a little bit more.
The base setup of that bike, of Alex's bike, looks better. Marc's looks like he's on the absolute edge. In previous races, he's looked like we've said, won with one arm retired behind his back. This is Marc Marquez on the absolute limit.
So can Alex conjure up something here, a little bit of magic to get through on his brother? Through turn 3, the Osnabrücken up towards the Strubben now. Famous old corner names, particularly the Strubben. Used to be big, banked, tight left-hander with a wall of fans around. There's still actually a bank on the left-hand side as he go up there.
It used to be like a wall of death. It used to be fantastic to ride down a second gear corner. One of those corners you remember.
There's still a bit of banking, isn't there? Yeah. When you come here to Steckenbrough, for example, turn 8 to the right-hander now. Still the grass banks there's like a little dike in front of it, and the bank goes up and the fans just pack it. It hits a default flat left-hander, long lap penalty for Aldeguer. That's for, I'm guessing, track limits warning, is it?
Oh, it's that black line for Marc's bike now. I don't know if that was from the rear or the front. I don't know if that was a slight fold in the front. Look at this though, Alex there on the exit through this part of the lap is so much quicker, but then you run out of road, like I said, because it's curb to curb, no room to pass. Yeah, well, it's going to come down to the last lap.
Here we go then. Yeah.
I think this is Alex's best chance to make a pass on his brother. Right. But the reality is, it's going to be a rough one.
Is he willing to do it?
We're going to find out.
Is he going to have a chance, or is Marc going to make it impossible? Pace on that lap, similar between the front two, the two Marquez brothers. It's been 1 and 2, 8 times this year. Marc to Alex. It's been 1 and 2, Alex to Marc once this year.
Yeah.
So can Alex return the favour?
And it's not at this point on part of the track at all.
And there's Fermin Aldeguer, meanwhile, is going to drop back. He's in the points currently. Will he go behind Morbidelli? It's going to be tight when he rejoins. You can see Morbidelli starting to approach the Strubben now, and I think, oh, Costa's just got a long lap penalty. That's track limits. So it just shows how close everyone is running to those track limits. If there's anything on the last lap when they're this close as well between these two, it'd be one to keep an eye on.
Right, this is it. This is it. He has to build. Alex Marquez needs to be closer, because it's not this next corner, it's the next two is the one where we're talking about that move.
Yeah, the gap is 0.3
so
of a
Mark's
second.
gone defensive, so he's gone in faster, but it'll be slow on exit. He's not close enough, isn't Alex?
Van der Veen now, turn
Close
10.
enough.
And he just is not going to have enough here. And Marc Marquez, despite 2 huge crashes yesterday, looks set. No track limits transgressions though. He's getting closer as Alex all the time. Closer still, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Into the Rams hook they go.
It's going to be last corner.
For the final time.
Not close enough. Definitely not close
Mark's just exiting the corners so well. And down towards the chicane it is. Very late as he went in there to the line. And it's going to be Mark who does it again for win number 9 in the sprints this year from the second row of the grid. Despite those 2 crashes yesterday, despite the fact that he was in the medical centre with ice and all his bruises and bumps from yesterday, he takes the win from Alex. Marco Bezzecchi rounds out the podium for Aprilia in 3rd, Digi is 4th, Bagnaia 5th. Trudging back to his garage is Fabio Quartararo. But Marc Marquez has come up with the goods once more, Neil.
What can you say that we haven't already said? Tough weekend, 2 huge crashes yesterday, like you said. He's not himself today. He's not looked comfortable on the bike. It doesn't look like he got the right race pace, but he got off the line and he just went to automatic mode. Full aggression, got the lead, and he has controlled it. Yes, he wasn't fast enough on the opening 3 laps. It didn't matter because he didn't let anyone past him.
He asked his brother about the crashes, whether they were going to work in his favour. He said, yeah, with anyone else they might, but not with Marc Marquez. Bumped and bruised, but comes back to take victory in the sprint here at the TT circuit in Assen. We'll have all the reaction and analysis to what went on in those early laps when we come back from the break. Stay with us.